We see these celebrities on our screens every day and we all follow them on social media, but what we might not know is some of these faces are low-key black.
Not without them.
Yep, she's black.
Really?
Sort of.
Okay.
Here are 9 very famous celebrities who you never knew had black roots. Let's go. Number 9. Halsey. Halsey is a talented artist with a pretty unique voice. Just looking at Halsey doesn't give any hint of her being black. She opened about her father being African American. I look like a white girl, but I don't feel like one. I'm a black woman. When I was little, if someone saw me and my dad walking through like a grocery or a parking lot, they would stop and stare. Women would come up to us and be like, "Sweetie, are you okay?" Because they saw a little black girl walking with a black man. She said maybe people won't accept that I'm half black, but they could not be accepting me because I am, and that is much worse. Number 8. Zendaya.
You ready? Yeah. You're gonna love this.
Spider-Man's favorite person, Gwen, is no other than Zendaya, a gorgeous looking actress, but what most people don't know about her is her black roots.
Do you believe in black girl magic, and what does that mean to you?
Hell yeah, I believe in black girl magic. We're magical. I don't care what anybody says. I read this one tweet that was like, our skin soaks up the sun rays and our hair defies gravity, and that's magic.
As a light-skinned black woman, it's important that I am using my privilege, my platform to show how much beauty there is in the African American community. According to her, it's hard to say, but Hollywood has a tier list of what an acceptable version of a black girl should be, and that needs to change. We are vastly too beautiful and too interesting for me to be the only representation of that. Number 7. Zhong Feifei.
Hey everyone, this is Winnie Zhong Feifie, and I'm here to.
Hello， 大家好，我是仲菲菲。
Winnie Zhong, also known by her Chinese name as Zhong Feifei, was born to a Congolese dad and a Chinese mom. Being a mixed child in China is arguably the worst, as China is for the most part a closed society that shuns foreign influence as much as possible. How Winnie managed to go against all odds to become a popular face around the world is rather disturbing and yet intriguing at the same time. She became one of the hottest participants of the show, Produce 101. While Winnie's fans around the world have been supportive of her roots and interests, her encounters with racial abuse on the Chinese internet directed at her roots were quite uncivilized, to say the least.
People called her the N-word, saying African people were ugly and had a low IQ. Some even told her to go back to Africa.
But Winnie has never been afraid of facing down such comments. In a racist repost of some of her selfies on Chinese microblogging platform Weibo, a user asked whether ancestors of Chinese people would be angry at her calling herself a descendant of Han Chinese people. Winnie commented back saying the user could go to hell and find out. Today, Winnie is a successful musician and a model for Fenty Beauty and Vogue. Number 6. Lisa Bonet and the Aquaman. The once beloved Hollywood's power couples had a good run together. It's sad to see the two go their separate ways. Thanks, Amber Heard. Lisa Bonet has black roots, and this came as a shock to many. She said as a black kid growing up in the 70s, the world wasn't ready for what she represented. Being born to a biracial couple at the time made her different in her mom's family and school, so she sheltered herself by always withholding a bit. Number 5. Kimora Lee Simons. And just like the other beautiful humans on our list, she will easily pass for anything than black. She revealed that she felt lonely growing up. She was a mixed-race girl with a Korean-Japanese mother and an African-American father. None of the other kids at school were like her. She cried all the time, but her mother wanted her to turn her tears into something positive. So that's how she got into modeling after being called names like Giraffe Neck. Number 4. Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. Unless you've been living under a rock, you've probably heard or at least suspected that The Rock has black roots. His father is former professional wrestler Rocky Johnson, who was the first black Georgia heavyweight champion.
My dad was one of the first black wrestlers in the world of pro wrestling, and he wrestled in all these little, this is why we lived on the road, so he wrestled in Georgia and in Tennessee and all these little promotions where he became their first black champion. But still, he was their first black champion, but yet he couldn't go to the same bathroom, he couldn't eat at the same counter. So he went through incredibly hard.
After I tweeted a debate regarding how he identifies, Dwayne tweeted, "Glad I came across this, and I'll give you guys some context and truth. I identify as exactly what I am, both Black Samoan. Now you know why these two are inseparable." Number 3. Ariana Miyamoto. Ariana is a Japanese model and a beauty pageant title holder who was crowned Miss Universe Japan. She is of Black and Japanese heritage.
Ariana is what is known here as a hafu. Not foreign, but not fully Japanese either.
I've lived in Japan all my life. But if I say I'm Japanese, people reply, "No, you can't be." They don't believe it.
She entered Miss Universe Japan as a way to fight against racial prejudice after her mixed-race friend committed. However, she too has faced abuse and backlash over her skin color.
While the foreign media is flocking to meet her, the Japanese media has all but ignored Ariana's victory.
I'll be lying to say it didn't hurt at all. I am Japanese. I stand up and bow when I answer the phone. But that criticism did give me extra motivation. Ariana's childhood wasn't easy at all. When I was small, I stood out and always felt like I had to fit in with everyone. I would try not to bring attention to myself, but now I say what I feel. I do things my own way. Number 2. Logic. Born Sir Robert Bryson Hall II, it's quite unbelievable to see Logic as being half Black.
You're mixed, right? Mm-hmm. Which parent is what?
My father's Black, yeah.
And your mom is white.
He has on several occasions addressed the criticism he's received from media personalities over his choice of lyrics as a rapper. People try to tell me that, "Oh, you shouldn't be proud, you are not this, or you aren't that, or whatever the hell." I've experienced a lot of really terrible things as a child.
So, do most white people think you're white? And do Black people think you're Black, or is it kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I understand. Yeah, no,
yeah,
I think,
you see what I'm saying? Because certain different races could see different features.
That's
in
weird.
people,
I get that all the time. Some people think that I look Hispanic, you know, like with my curly hair and like, or whatever, or, you know, and then some Black people are like, "Oh, I know you mixed. I know you got it in. You're just extra light skin, ultra light skin," like, you know, joking around.
Number 1. Zoe Kravitz. Zoe Kravitz has successfully starred in a lot of Hollywood blockbusters. She may pass as white, but the fact is she comes from a Black background. Her parents are Lenny Kravitz and Lisa Bonet. She said she identifies more and more with being Black. What that means for her is being more and more proud of that feeling of being connected to one's roots and ancestry. Growing up, Zoe went to schools full of white kids, and that made her want to blend in or not to be looked at as Black. But the white kids will always talk and touch her hair in a disrespectful way. I struggled of accepting myself as Black and loving that part of myself, and now I'm so in love with my culture and so proud to be Black. Which of these celebrities came as a shocker to you? Leave us a comment down there. Do share with a friend on Facebook, WhatsApp and Twitter. As usual, I'm your host Murphy, and I'll catch you in the next video. Stay beautiful, stay safe. Peace.